But anyways, in the upper right, in the red, he is the can man himself, the defender of North America, Mcanning. And his opponent in the bottom left in the blue, he is not Jon Snow, but the Canadian Zerg, BioIce. And I really want GIF emotes. But anyway, to finish that story, no, it's not mounted to my boom arm, but the tripod I bought, I think I'm just gonna have to go return it. It is really unstable. It is insanely unstable. Not all that great. I'm not a big fan. Is that we have a pro looking to pantomime a cannon rush, but no. Mcanning, always the people's champ. It says GLHF, make sure he's as mannered as possible before he scouts on into the main base. But yeah, the tripod, it's not all that balanced. I do need to fix that. I just need to, what I think actually I'm just gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to rig together a desk mount for the camera to go on. It's gonna mean I'm gonna have to move my boom. I think I'm gonna have to move my boom arm off to the side, which is fine. It's gonna be dandy there. Also, again, I really want GIF emotes because this is fantastic. But I mean, I'm not all that close yet. I'm averaging, I think, 25 viewers. I'm that 20, third of the way there until I can start applying. And then, if anyone's coming from Steadfast stream is well aware, you gotta apply like 7 to 10 times before you can get partner, before you can get all that. But yeah, I'm just loving everything. I'm just loving the Mcanning hype in the chat right now. It's making me very happy indeed. And it also gives me something to talk about because we don't get much right now. We don't really see, well, the only thing we do see is Mcanning is going to open with a gateway style of some sort in this game, right? We do have Warp Gate immediately, and I don't believe Mcanning is one of those players that goes and I don't think he does the trap build of Stargate. There we go. Twilight is underway. So the next question that I'm looking at here is whether or not Mcanning wants to go for 3-gate or 4-gate. And you might say, Bayo, what are you talking about? 3-gate or 4-gate glaives is the build if you open Twilight. And that is maybe true. No, Janked, I don't think it's hate. It's good to point out here. This is the first day I've gotten the new camera. Thank you, Pablo's Cruz. But yeah, this is the first. I got the new camera all set up. In fact, actually, the dummy battery came in during this stream. It's supposed to come in yesterday, but it came in during the stream. And the battery ran out. I bought this camera off of Craigslist. I got it for like 50% off. It's like a $1,200 camera I got for like $550, which yes, please, especially because I like taking pictures. But it didn't come with a charger. It came with a battery, but there was no charger in there, so I had to go, and I haven't had a chance to get a actual battery charger yet. So after like one game, it ran out of battery because I'd spent some time configuring things, finding the right lens, whatever. So I had to go back to my webcam for like the first series of the day, and then like halfway through, the dummy battery came in, and suddenly I'm fine. Suddenly I don't have to use my C920 ever again, but it's fine. It's funny things happen. But also, yes, the tripod does kind of suck. I have an idea of how I'm gonna rig together a desk mount, but I need to buy the stuff off of Amazon, so that's probably going to be a tomorrow project. I mean, I will be covering Dreamhack or European close qualifiers, so maybe that's a Tuesday after work project because Monday after work is Dreamhack open. Anyway, I'll figure it out one of these days. In the meantime, I'm glad you all like the player intro. I've actually written some custom scripts for it to make it work properly. I'm very proud of it. And all of this stuff, by the way, if you like this level of production, I will be on the B stream at least one day for Dreamhack Fall on the B stream. I think I said that. And it's going to be hype. Okay, Janked. Good to know. The issue is I have a standing desk. So theoretically that would work, but I like to have everything mounted to my desk. So when I stand and cast, it's following me. Hey, thanks for the follow, by the way, as well there, Janked. Because we have the DT. I'm sorry, this was a DT tech, and I got so busy talking about cameras and production tech that I didn't pay attention to what was happening here. As the Zerglings, they will force a cancel here on the third base of Mcanning to start the game out. But look, now DT's finding their way on in. 3 queens in the natural means that one of these DTs will die immediately. And there you go, Warp Prism as well. Mcanning just not finding the damage that he's been looking for with the Dark Templar in this game. Doesn't mean the game's over, but he does want to get a little bit more than he has accomplished in this game. And hey, Coffee Beats, thank you so much. We know you have many opportunities. We know you have many choices with where you choose to spend your money. Thank you for choosing the Elm of Casting for your StarCraft pleasure. As now the DTs are starting to find a little bit more here as the Queens, they try to find something. But the Queens try to get assassinated, but it's just not really great, right? Mcanning does lose all of his DTs in the attempt. This is cool though. I didn't really notice, but we got we have 2 Warp Prisms here. And you know what? If anything's Mcanning. Now it's become the part of the stream where I can't interact with chat anymore because because we have the Mcanning shit posting happening. But anyway, yeah, talking about cameras just for the last time, maybe for a little bit as the game gets a little bit more exciting. Talking about more in the break, maybe. It's a standing desk, and I need it to be the same height regardless of whether I'm sitting or standing. And I don't know of a motorized tripod. So it's mounted to my desk, and ideally I just have it locked in tight enough that it's going to be fine. And then I, slam the desk because I'm really excited about something, and it doesn't really work on out. Now it looks like these 2 Warp Prisms, for the most part, they've kind of spent their timing. Yes. I love it. Mcanning shitposts are the way to go here. Now, where are we in this game? Disruptors coming out 2x2 because it's Mcanning, and if we didn't get Disruptors in this game... And as Alaros as well. Hello, Alaros. For those of you that are not aware, Alaros helped me... Didn't necessarily fix my camera, but told me it was broken before we realized it wasn't broken. Yeah, Alaros, we got a fantastic raid from Steadfast. Because I guess he was done for the day. I hope everyone that coming from Steadfast stream, everything all right with Steadfast, or did he just decide to quit and just not do the lore bracket, which is totally fine. Just I'm used to generally. I'm the one rating him because he's had a long because he's going longer than I am, so I'll take it. Anyway, so 4th base underway here from BioIce. He's just going roach, just a bunch of roaches here looking to stabilize himself. And behind that, well, we're gonna have an infestation pit, Hydra Den as well. So yeah, at this point, this is kind of standard Zerg play for the moment. No Ravagers. It doesn't look like BioIce is too interested in doing anything too crazy. But he's going to be aggressive, right? He's going to make his presence known on the map. And BioIce, and he does have a over double army supply lead at this point. But there are Disruptors here, and the shots are going to go off now for the first time in this game. They've shown themselves, and there are a lot of Disruptors here. Roaches, even with Roach speed, they don't do all that best. And with this zoning, I mean, we have just about once, we can just about send once almost continuously. We need like 2 more for that to happen, but now the Roaches, they're going to try to find their way on in. And there we go. Disruptor shots are going to go on out. There's a shot and a half here, and it's bowling for Roaches in this game as Mcanning showing us just who is the master of Disruptors on in this game. Roaches, they're trying to find value, but the army's just evaporating. Mcanning, you don't got to do them like that. Well, actually, I guess you do because you're trying to qualify, but you don't got to do them like that. But it looks like DT in the... Were there drones with that army? I don't know. But hey, we had a supply lead, friends. We had a supply lead. It's not there anymore. Disruptor shots have meant that it is 5 DTs and 1 Archon that have died for 45 Roaches. It's not okay, Mcanning. It's not okay. As a fan of StarCraft, I love it. As a Zerg player, it just makes me really depressed. Now the Stalkers, they're going to blink on forward here, trying to get aggressive. Mcanning, he's equal in army supply, and yes, there is creep spread. It means these Roaches are going to be able to split just a little bit better. But as long as the Disruptors don't die, it doesn't really matter. But now, Disruptor shot's going to go on in. A little bit of friendly fire, but it doesn't matter. The Roaches, they're moving on in, but the Stalkers can blink. The Disruptors, they're not dying. And now, Mcanning, he's starting to find a supply lead. More Disruptor shots going on off. Mcanning, he's found the window. He's found the opportunity. How dare you question the man with DTs are on, or excuse me, when Disruptors are on the line here. This 4th base will be broken. Now the question is whether anything else can stop the ensuing flood of Stalkers, of Disruptors, of pain and death and misery that the Protoss player has seen fit to inflict upon the world here. Disruptor shots gonna go off once again. And Mcanning has lost a grand total of 1 Disruptor in this game. And there we have it with a couple last Disruptor shots. GG Mcanning, he's going to take game 1. Oh, wait, I need to leave the game. That's important. we have to leave the game to get to the next game. Who would have thunk? I wouldn't have. I didn't know that. Steadfast was too intimidated by the can man. I mean, that's fair. Hey, thanks for the follow, Nick Pomerantz. How does that name ring a bell? It's funny. I see all these people that follow me on Twitch, and I'm like, I know I've seen your name before. I don't know where, but maybe in Steadfast stream, maybe in Creighton's stream, maybe in something else. Mcanning now has huge puppies? That's new. Yeah, man, watching Mcanning play is just so it's just so silly because you're like, it's great. It's okay. He's down 100 supply, and you're like, yes. But have you heard of this wonderful unit called Disruptors and what they can do? Well, yeah, I have. After that game, 45 roaches for one disruptor. I think at that point, 0 disruptors had died. Yeah, okay. So now BioIce, he has understood the meaning. He has come to brutal terms with the idea of what the can is and what it does. Now the question is whether he can make like a can opener and pop it open, or whether Mcanning is just going to take that 3-0 with this momentum. Because now, friends, game number 2 is underway. It is Lightshade. It's another map kind of like Oxide. See what something similar happens. And in the upper left, in the blue, excuse me, in the red. I know my colors. It's fine. I'm not colorblind. He is up 1-0 in this series. The All-American hero, Mcanning. And his opponent in the bottom right, in the blue. He's down 1 game in this series, but certainly not out in his second qualifying match of the day. He is, for Storm, BioIce. Yeah, you talk about ball micro. One thing I didn't talk about, which I really should have, which I didn't touch on well enough, was the fact that, I don't know if you saw this in the fight, as once again we see him canning. I'm cannon rushing, guys, except Mcanning. I don't think I've ever seen him cannon rush, so, you know. Anyway, one thing we didn't see, so he was forced to put disruptor balls on top of his army, and you're like, oh god, he's gonna lose so much. But he blinked his stalkers away from it, and he just friendly fired his own disruptors, and disruptors don't friendly fire themselves. Right, disruptors are immune to their own novas, and so he didn't lose anything. It was a really cool move, not something you see all that often, but that is what is to be expected of the master of the disruptors himself. All right, so what are we gonna have in this game? Is it gonna be a work get opening once again? So adapt, okay, fine, nothing really yet. What we're looking at is that 220, 230 timing. Now, a lot of you are Mcanning fans, so I assume you know, at least know a little bit of Protoss. What am I saying? Who cares? It doesn't really matter. You all know what I'm talking about already. But there we go. Okay, Stargate's gonna be the play in this game. Yeah, pretty much there, Alaros. So it's going to be a Stargate opening from Mcanning, and yes, Lightshade is a rather good map for that. You have a somewhat defensible third base. But here's the question. Is this Oracles into Disruptors? Is it Phoenix into Disruptors? That seems like a rather good deal. We've seen Max Pax go do that, where he opens Phoenix against Disruptors and just lifts high-tech units onto Disruptor shots, and it's like, wow, you're a god, okay. Can, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. After saying Giga Tabloid. Hey, Lockhart Mac. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow, my friend. Are you my friend? I hope you're my friend. If not, I'm gonna feel really silly. And you just, you know, you could just be choosing to follow me because you just really hate me with a desperate passion and want to make sure that you're aware of things. So, just make sure you're aware so you can just really hate me with utmost intensity, and that's how you fulfill your life. Something like that. I think that's a great idea. Anyways, thanks so much for follow, Lockhart, and Giga Tabloid as well. And just all of the spam cheering on your Mcan man to victory here. And he is opening Oracle. We do see double gas in the natural robo as well. So we are seeing him. It looks like he wants to expand as well, right? We're not going to see, I don't think at the least, if we see a 4 gas 2 base all in, I'm going to be rather surprised. Looks like he's getting ready for like a 4:35-minute expand timing. Actually, maybe even less than that. We do see, of course, this probe looking like it wants to move on out just a little bit. So Oracle into Void, or Void Ray into Oracle, and a second Void Ray. So it does, Mcanning is going to lean into Void Ray tech just a little bit. I gotta say, considering his reputation, that's a bit surprising, but there's a reason that Raynor beat Zest in Katowice with his lurker timings. And it was strictly because Zest did not go for Disruptors. He went for Storm in every game. Disruptors, as a follow-on to the 6 Void Ray timing, is an extremely powerful one. It can work rather well indeed. And that may be what Mcanning goes for here. Or, you know what, maybe I've leaned into the memes too much. And it is possible that Mcanning plays a game where Disruptors do not play a major part. I don't know, I don't believe that one. I don't think that's going to happen here. As the Zerglings, they're going to try to find their way on in. And that's a decent amount of Zerglings on the map. But with the Void Rays, of course, they're just consistent DPS. And the Oracle in the sky, if things are really necessary, well, that shouldn't do too much. So actually, this is interesting. It's only 2 Void Rays as we get into a Robo Bay rather quickly. I say I'm a bit surprised by that one. Generally, it's 4. Generally, it's like 3 Void Rays, 4 Void Rays. Sometimes it's 6. But stopping at 2 seems a little bit greedy. Of course, Mcanning does know that this is not going to be a queen walk. Yes, there are more queens underway, but there's a 4th base as well. Hey, thank you for the follow, S30. S_Sferty. Something like that. Welcome, welcome. I think I figured out my my one failing as a caster, as a streamer, right? Oh, welcome, Odin Digger. Is that I don't have, you know, if you so many people like follow a streamer, subscribe to a stream, and someone's like, welcome to the blank, right? Welcome to the Gozu crew. I don't know. And chat the other day was saying, I don't even remember what I said when Elor was saying that, but yes. Oh yeah. Everyone just hates me. It's fine. But chat the other day was saying it should be the Mole Gang, and I'm like, I don't like that. How about the Bayo Bunch? How about that? You got the Brady Bunch, you got the Bayo Bunch. That sound like a good idea? I think that is that is absolutely valid. But look at this, Mcanning. Okay, so we got a Robo. Got a Robo Bay. He built us 2 Disruptors. But now there's a Temple Archives on the way. I don't know whether this is for Archons or whether it's just for Storm. Probably just for Archons, as he's continuing to commit gas to this Disruptor tech. But look at this. BioIce says, okay, well, you know what? This is what you want to play, Mcanning. That's fine. Did you know that Disruptors cannot shoot up? Did you know that Disruptors are locked onto the ground state? They cannot do anything more, so I'm just going to build a Spire. But wait, was this scouted?
I have met the enemy.
Okay, now it looks like Zerglings, they did. I don't. There was no 3rd base or 4th base underway just yet. Where is the Spire? Okay, so that was not scouted. We do have Phoenix underway rather soon, so I guess just a really nice read here from Mcanning. He's like, look, I'm gonna go down the list because again, Spire has not been scouted. I'm gonna go down the list here. You don't have that much for being 740 into this game, for having all these bases, and I believe he's seen that there is gas taken on it. So 8 gas is probably the tell here. Anyway, now, okay, so yeah, double Stargate, more and more Phoenix underway, so he's gonna be very prepared for these mutas that have not been scouted. Hey, thank you for the follow, Tranch1, 84. Yeah, Void Rays go brr. Void Ray Printer. Anyway, Roaches and Zerglings, they're going to try to make sure that this 4th base does not succeed. Look at the Disruptor shots, though. The post-series highlights are just going to be a bunch of Disruptors killing everything. Just so you're all aware, that's what's happening. And now, okay, so Zealots and a couple of Adepts will find this 3rd base. Queens are going to be able to defend the 5th and 4th base. 4th base won't go up immediately, but still, great trades there for Mcanning. And we have Annie. You know, I was memeing about this. I'm like, no, Mcanning, he's not going to do the lift up, drop value units onto things. And there we go, 5th base does die as well. No, but we have Annie and Pulse Crystals on the way. We have a lot of Phoenix, but here's the thing. BioIce has out... I don't know what they're seeing here, in all honesty, because no one scouted the tech. Welcome to the Bayo Force. Oh no, did I do that? Okay, left is Lingwei, it's fine. Anyway, we have a bunch of corruptors on the way, and Phoenix don't fight corruptors, but also there's the benefit. Corruptors don't really do much else either. They'll be able to knock the Phoenix from the skies, and that is unfortunate. Mcanning has committed to adding pulse crystals to all those things. 6th century Scandinavia. So instead of saying welcome to the Beowbound, just say Huiten Gardena! And I just, quote the first couple lines of Beowulf itself. But anyways, these are any pulse crystals Phoenix. They can fight Disruptor. Okay, there we go. They can fight Corruptors, kind of. Not great, but kind of here. And we're just gonna see some snipes. This base is gonna go down. But here's the question. With all the Corruptors in the sky, can Mcanning win the fight on the ground? And the Disruptor shots are going to say no, in fact, because the Roaches will be able to target those down rather easily. And yes, the Phoenix flips in the skies do mean that these do go down. But still, Corruptors, they're getting good damage. It is now effectively a 2-base Protoss for the time being. And they do need to be dealt with, right? There is +1 Carapace on these Corruptors. They actually just get tickled by the Phoenix. All right, but it feels like this game is starting to snowball for BioIce just a little bit. How many Disruptors do we have? We only have 1 at this point, so we don't have these big, bulky anti-engagement units that are able to knock things down. So Roaches are fighting some damage. A Natural is going to go on down here. Phoenix should try to take the fight, but again, +1 Carapace means that they don't do anything here. 10 more probes die as well. It's not, once again, it's a 2-base Protoss against a soon to be a 5-base Zerg. Hey, you know what? Disruptor shot. We'll do a pretty good job of dealing with these Roaches. But I'm looking at the supplies at this point. I'm looking at relative income. Oh. The building previews are purple of some things because that's a bug. Dreamhack. Hey, Renato6230. Thank you for the follow. Okay, actually, this is going to be a really nice pickup here from Mcanning. He's going to get a lot of these Roaches, and this is really immediately on into an attack on top of this 4th base here. Hyperton's not done yet, but still, it's only 1 Disruptor, and we have Vipers as well, which means these Phoenix, these Void Rays, they're going to be in a bit of a problem, in a bit of a pickle here. As now the army's looking to move on forward. If we can get a good Disruptor shot, and that one is, but we need a couple more. Hey, you know what? There we go. A couple more Disruptor shots going off. Mcanning, he's starting to find army supply equality just a little bit. The Void Rays, they're fighting the Corruptors, and that's not really doing much, but Disruptor shots are once again carrying the day. And Mcanning doesn't even have that many, but it doesn't matter because he's got enough here. The Corruptors are going to start to slowly go on down. But Mcanning, he's equalized the supply. Most of the Corruptors are dead, which means the Phoenix, they can dominate the Void Rays, they can dominate the sky. Once again, Disruptor shots on these queens are going to start to kill them all off. And yeah, there's some transfused energy, but it's not going to be enough here. That Disruptor shot will whiff. And it looks like for the moment here, Mcanning will be forced on back strictly because he doesn't have a resupply point. Now Mcanning, he's back on 4 bases once again. He's mining somewhat. Notice the curve has gone back up to somewhat close to equal here. As again, Disruptor shots are going to look to be nice. This 4th base looks like it's going to start to get broken because realistically, BioIce can't get close. Stalker's going to blink on top of the Spore trying to do what they can. And these Disruptor shots, I'm just going to get tired of saying Disruptor shots because they're just massive here. It doesn't matter that Mcanning lost 3 bases. It doesn't matter that he was down supply. It doesn't matter he was down in everything. GG Mcanning, he's going to take a 2-0 lead in this series. Well, mass Corruptors are good for 2 reasons, Alexius. 1, they snipe buildings rather quickly if they get up to speed. 2, they had +1 Carapace, so they took 0 damage from pretty much everything that BioIce or that Mcanning had. They didn't take any damage from the Anti-Pulse Crystal Phoenix. That just means they have good range, nothing else. They didn't have +1 attack either. The Void Rays were not in high enough number to really do anything, and there were just not enough of anything on the ground. Yeah, Omega, like, I can't understand. That's not true. I understand what happened. I don't understand why it happened because realistically, that didn't feel like that should have happened. And Mcanning, it felt like he was finally starting to snowball, and then you're like, Disruptor shot, Disruptor shot, Disruptor shot. a Disruptor shot. Things are exploding. And that's what happens. Things have died. Mcanning, he's got a 2-0 lead now. And that was not the story I thought I was going to be telling after that game. Yeah, I think the Vipers were with the army. Like they were hotkeyed with the Corruptors, and then he didn't do anything with the Vipers, but they were with the army anyways. And then that happened. But now, game number 3 is loaded on up. It is Juggernaut for a third map in this series. Mcanning's got a 2-0 lead. Will he make it 3? Will he make it 4? He might even go 4-0 in a best of 5. Who knows? All I know is the players are ready. Let's get into it. And in the bottom left, in the red, he's up 2-0 in this series. Spam the dreams. He is Mcanning. And in the upper right, in the blue, he's down in this series. Let's see if we can tie it all back. Bring it to game number 5 for Storm Gaming. He is BioIce. By the way, it's so fun because on the one hand, I hate delays. Right? It's kind of, I mean, I understand why they're necessary and I use them, of course. But it's annoying because you can't interact with chat nearly as well. But then you're getting into the next game and you just see the reaction to the previous game. You're like, ah, yeah, that sounds about right. Okay. So that's always a little bit fun. Did you just see that the chat react? They're like, oh God, what happened here? The answer, by the way, is Mcanning hit disruptor shots. And to be fair, that army supply was a little bit deceiving because he had, I want to say it was like 15, 20 corruptors. So 20 to 40 of his army supply was stuff that just couldn't fight the army of Mcanning. So not a lot of roaches on the ground, even with that supply lead. And that meant that Mcanning, he had more than enough. The Vipers went down, so nothing could stop the Stalkers from firing. Nothing could stop the Archons from firing, doing all that fun stuff. And there just was not enough roaches on the ground, or Queens for that matter, to deal with the massive amounts of burst damage coming out of Mcanning's army. Thank you, Janda Chat. Thank you. Olo Apir. Oh, I hate that you made me say that. Generally, I'm pretty good at noticing these, but you know, that one got me. Yeah, Shazam Poof. I love the standing desk. The background could use some work, but I'm at my girlfriend's for the summer. She is wonderful, but it means I am 1,200 miles away from where I normally am, so, you know, it's all fine. No green screen, nothing like that. But yes, Isla Rose, that is engineering in a nutshell. We know what happened, but if we can figure out the how and why and how to prevent it or how to reproduce it, yeah, it's a little bit harder to do. You're not wrong. And I hate that you're not wrong. Hey, thanks for the follow, Lee75. Is that, I guess, Leets? Yeah, I want more StarCraft, Shazam Poof. Actually, well, I do and I don't, because there's also a game night happening, and I want to go over and play some board games before I gotta be back for ESL Open Cup Korea. And then, of course, Dreamhack Masters Summer, or Dreamhack Masters Fall European Qualifiers tomorrow morning. It's gonna be fine. Sleeps for the week. StarCraft is all that matters. Anyway, what are we gonna see in this game? So Twilight, Warp Gate, we're not, I'm sorry. I spent too much time talking to chat, not enough about the game. So we have a Stargate opener here from Mcanning. It looks like he did go Stargate into Warp Gate, but behind this, we have 4 more gateways, and we have a Twilight underway. Not only is this going to be a stat style build, well, it's going to be a rather aggressive one at that. I don't think we might see a fake third. That's going to be the extent of things, as we do, of course, have we have 4 more gates going down. It's going to be 5 total gates here. Glaive's underway. And the goal here, of course, is to feign the third base. You're like, absolutely! I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just going for a third base. It's fine. Don't have to worry about it. But behind that, you build a bunch of adepts. You pile drive through your opponent, and you have fun with that. Yeah, pretty much, Alaros. You're not wrong. I mean, you think that's not what I'm doing? All right, so gateways are now done. Third base, yes, it's underway, but hey, Othael. Thank you for the follow, my friend. And DS Moth as well. Is that what I say? You know, welcome to the I'm Beowulf, and it's the Beowulf and the Grendorks, as someone said earlier. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know. That feels like it might be a little bit too aggressive towards my chat. I don't know. Now the Adepts, they're going to shade out on the map here. How many do we have? It's only going to be 11, so not even 14, but he is warping in more. Now, of course, he's going to be able to avoid the scout too. All that BioIce sees is there's a third base and there's a couple Adepts defending. He did not see these Adepts running it out. Now he's got some roaches underway, sure, but it's only going up to like 6. He's building more roaches now, but roaches by themselves do not handle Adepts well. I mean, they fight Adepts, sure, but the whole point of Adepts is you outmaneuver your opponent. So now the Adept shades, they're going to try to find their way on into the third base. There's nothing here. There's some queens, but the Adepts, they're like, yeah, sure, 100%. Let's shade on top of this, get what damage we can. Target, oh, actually, they're going to get a couple queens here already. One queen's going to go down, 2 queens going to go down. A roach died, and the shade out. Is it going to get the third queen before it shades out? It does! 3 queens die. And now it's a bunch of damage on the nascent third base. Of course, there is no armor, which means these Adepts, they're actually going to be able to deal with this rather easily if they opt to do so. Hey, Fushers. Good evening. Now the Adepts, they're going to find their way on into the natural. Meanwhile, of course, 1 Adept with 5 kills, by the way, in the main base, getting tons of damage. 16 workers have died. BioIce, he was caught with his pants down, unfortunately. And he's just taking so much damage. 16 workers have died, but here's the thing. The Adepts are now dead. And there are still a lot of roaches on the map. So what do we have from Mcanning as he tries to make a defense? We have shield batteries underway. We have 1 immortal underway, not done yet. Void Ray is underway as well. It looks like there's a drone with his army, because why not? Realistically, it's a mistake anyone can make. You kind of go and you're like, I'm hotkeying all my roach eggs, and suddenly you put a drone in there. It's a bit annoying. But looks like BioIce is not quite. Oh, it looks like he has noticed. Okay. Okay, I'm not even gonna try it. Anyway, I'm not gonna try that one. It's the roaches. They're gonna look to go on in. Force fields will section off 3 of the roaches. Not the best force fields, but certainly not the worst. And the one thing I don't like about this from BioIce is he's got a. Well, actually, he doesn't. I'm like, he's got a big army supply lead. But no, he doesn't. Wait, did I miss something? No, I didn't. Okay. Let yeah, Disruptor shot go off, but no, Disruptors aren't out yet. That push went in, though, and Mcanning, just by dint of existing, by having that Void Ray, he was able to hold off rather easily. What's wrong with being aggressive towards chat? Well, see, I want chat to like me. If chat likes me, they're more likely to drop subscriptions my way. If chat likes me, they're more likely to follow me. They're more likely to watch me as okay, I'm not no comment yet. Yeah, no comment. But look at this. Okay, so this is a really interesting variant of the Jo'un build. So we have 1 Disruptor here, not 2. I kind of expected to see 2 with this. But the Jo'un build, as you're all aware, you kind of go and there we go. Okay, there's the drone. You get your third base. Right, you have fun with that, but you get 2 Disruptors behind that. You do Disruptor drops and you try to make some value happen. But that almost invariably leads into a 2 Disruptor, 2 Colossus, Blink Stalker all in. Notice, Blink is done, right? We're getting there, but it's only 1 Disruptor. And, oh, okay. We have 1 Immortal, 1 Colossus, 1 Disruptor. No Observers. So not 1 of every unit from the Robo, but close enough. There we go, 2nd Disruptor on the way. And then maybe we get 2nd Colossus on the way, but, well, we got a 2nd Stargate in a Fleet Beacon. Mcanning, I guess more than anything else, is just preparing himself to make sure, just making sure that he doesn't die to things as he does progress up this tech path further and further. Understand that he got a lot of damage to BioIce, and he did not get enough in the return. Yeah, Cobblestone, what got me there is I expected it to be dedicated pressure off of 4 gates. Really much more aggressive off of 5 gates. But anyway, the roaches, they're going to find their way on in. Hey, Fluid Casey. Welcome, welcome. Cry Havoc, sound the horns of war. People are... Ooh. Mcanning is about to get a little bit sandwiched here, but who is sandwiching who? As all these roaches will go down. You got to remember, by the way, Mcanning, he does, of course, have recall, so he's going to be fine there. But now a bunch of roaches, ravagers, all the fun stuff, they're going to find their way on into the natural. We're going to have to see a recall on this rather quickly, but there's no energy on this. There we go, recall on into the main base. And this will not be all that successful. Disruptor shots are going to be nice, and we've seen a bunch of zealots. They're just warp in. They're clogging the door for whatever use they are. Blink Starks blinking on the right-hand side here. Nice force field, and the army coming down from the natural. This disruptor will die. That is the sacrifice Mcanning is willing to make, as he's really holding this rather well. Now, he is starting to lose workers, and that's a bit of a problem, but the natural has been cleaned on up. The Colossus firing from above. Disruptors are going to go down, though. And disruptors are what Mcanning really wants to make sure this hold happens, but as long as it's like at 12, 14 workers, he's going to be roughly fine. So disruptor shots are going to go on out now. Notice BioIce is looking to target that down, but at the end of the day, where are we? Disruptor shot will get a couple more of these hydras. This has all been cleaned up. Only 14 workers go down. Mcanning still has his fourth base, but the big thing is he's down on workers. He doesn't really have a big army that he can move out on the map and really do something with, right? He has one Colossus, he has one disruptor, he has one carrier. Oh, 100% of a sellout. See, Elors, the thing is... yeah, I know, I'm absolutely a sellout, because the thing is, the bigger I get, the more viewers I get and stuff like this, the better opportunities I get to do stuff like Dreamhack. I've had like one day on B stream in the fall, or in the summer. I should have one day in the fall. That's fine. But I want more. I want it all. I want to do the point where I would love to get what Creighton had, right? Where he's just him and Grant are B stream every day. And you know, I understand that that's not perfect, because we want Steadfast to have a bunch of days too. And Grant is pretty good. So you can't just say it's all, you know. But I want it all, man. I want to do everything. As we do have a bunch of lurkers, they will burrow in on this fourth base, and this is going to be a bit of a problem to break. Is what we have. We have 12 hydras to 2 carriers, and yes, they don't have +1. They don't have +1 carapace yet, so that does mean the interceptors are going to be rather nice. There we go. Storms on top of everything, though. Is this base even going to go down? Looks like it will be, but I think, does Mcanning have enough here? No, he's going to lose the base, and he's going to struggle to make this break happen. Hey, disruptor shots are going to be more than enough. One last lurker as the carrier goes down. The disruptors go on down, and the rally is finding its way on in. It looks like here, BioIce, he has enough, just barely does he have what it takes to break this on through. The fourth base will die. Now he's on 5 bases. Now Mcanning is on 3. It's a 30 army supply lead. And unlike the previous games, it's not like Mcanning has 4 disruptors that he can run across the map with and make the game happen. Is this lurker on hold? Hold position. Oh, this is so smart. Hold position lurker. Is he gonna come on in? So, oh, never mind. Okay. There we go. Lurker will now die. Say goodbye, Lurker. But what you have done here is you successfully pulled your opponent's army out of position, and Zerglings, oh, hey, with the mothership, actually, Zerglings will not be able to find their way on in whatsoever. It's got to be a little bit better position. Now, Corruptors are in the sky, and suddenly it's a bit of a problem. It's -400 here. Disruptor shots on the ground, not even going to land here. The mothership will go down. We're starting to see carriers go down as well. And BioIce, he is just steamrolling through this game. Mcanning has some great holds, and honestly, he had a great start. But the entire army of Mcanning is falling on down. Zerglings are doing a great job of finding their way through the wall. All of the carriers are dead. And BioIce, he's just going to repair, rearm once again. These Zerglings, these Zealots are not going to get nearly what they need. And yes, Mcanning does have his fourth base just about up. He is continuing to try to play this game out. But hey, you know what? Storms are good, but they don't kill Corruptors. And we actually don't even have Storms on these Templar just yet. It looks like Mcanning, he's just kind of going for a last-ditch effort here, because he understands that he can, if this game keeps going like it is, he cannot win this game. So he's just got to counterattack, do what he can to try to make the game somewhat tenable. But here's the thing, the Zerg is like 7 bases, and you just don't base trade a Zerg in this situation. The Zerglings already found their way on into the natural. The base is starting to go on down. The fourth base is dead. And yes, we have Zealots on in the left-hand side here, but they're +2 Zealots. They're +3 Queens. And with the static defense as well, this is just going to be rather difficult. Storms are nice, of course, and they will go on down, but now the Lurkers are going to burrow on up here. It's just a bunch of Archons. They're all dead. The Disruptors are dead, too. And Mcanning He is losing everything. GG. BioIce. He's going to take his first game in the series, and it's not going to be a clean sweep for the Can Man. I want it all. I want it all. Yes, Coffee, by the way, Coffee Beats T just messaged me on Discord. And I gotta say, you're wrong. See, that's one. See, I'm not going to be aggressive towards chat. I'm not going to say, hey, chat, you suck. Hey, you're a bunch of dorks that I don't like. But I will say, if you think that coffee's better than tea, you got another thing coming to you. Coffee is just untenable as a drink. Now, give me some nice tea. 100%. Drink a lot of Earl Grey. And actually, it should be fun. I think right now my girlfriend is making lavender and Earl Grey cookies. I'm very excited to try those once I'm done with this. So, Mcanning, can you please finish this series so I can go try some lavender Earl Grey cookies? Fantastic, thank you. Or BioIce for that matter, although BioIce is going to have to win 2 games, not just the 1. But here's the thing, right? With BioIce winning, that means all you Mcanning fans, which it seems like this chat is the majority Mcanning fans, at least the active ones, which shouldn't surprise me. We all love a good can man. BioIce winning here just means that we get more Mcanning. So I don't think y'all are complaining all that much. I'm certainly not. I'm just a fan of StarCraft. As now we're on into our it's not 3-2. It's a best of 5, not a best of 7. We're into our 4th map here. It is 2,000 atmospheres. Mcanning's got a 2-1 lead. Can he close it out? Or will BioIce take us to game number 5? We'll find out now. And in the upper right, you're looking at the main base of the Red Terran, or Red Protoss player, excuse me, the hope of North America. Their greatest defender, their greatest proponent is the Can Man. And his opponent in the bottom left, in the blue. He's down 1. Can he tie it up here for Storm Gaming? Give it up for BioIce. Yes, Antis. By the way, congratulations for qualifying through the winners bracket. Honestly, I had you qualifying through the losers. I didn't know if you would get through the winners in time. But we have Mcanning GLHFing here. But congratulations, great run, especially 3-0ing Pure Legacy. He's not the easiest opponent. He was, of course, in. I mean, he didn't win a map in the main event, but he was in the main event last time. See, Alaros, I need to learn better tea preparation practices, but right now I just got tea bags. Foshers, if you come out here, yeah, and if there are cookies left, you can have some. And again, Foshers, I never said I wasn't going to make your robot. I just said that I was going to need some. I was going to need some funding for the endeavor. I didn't know they made marijuana espresso. I didn't know they made a dank espresso. But anyway. You talk about traded things in this battle of America versus Canada. We're all aware of the fact that Canada, so the U.S. has a strategic reserve of oil, right? Makes sense. U.S. has done a lot of stuff to make sure we got oil. But Canada's strategic reserve is not oil. Canada's strategic reserve is maple syrup. Canada has a strategic reserve of maple syrup, and it is my favorite fact about Canada. And I'm just excited when I can actually go visit, because normally I live up in New Hampshire most of the year. I'm a PhD student, and that means Canada's like an hour away. It means Montreal City is about 2 hours away. So ESL, if we ever go back to Dreamhack Montreal, please, I'll pay for my own gas, okay? Like, I'll drive. Just hire me as as coverage for that one. Anyways, what do we got here? BioIce, he is down 1 game in this series. Mcanning opening up with a Stargate build once again as he does add that second gateway. Now, in the last game, he went for that 5-gate adept build with a rather well-timed third base and worked out pretty well for him. He held the oncoming attack pretty decently. He was massively ahead. But I think the issue of that game was he just committed to too many things, right? He got like 2 Colossus and 2 Disruptors, but also went into second Stargate and Fleet Beacon and carriers and really? Pure Legacy was the first. You were the first Zerg Pure Legacies played in months. Hassle me for you, or hassle for me. What is that? Hassle for me too. If you're a partner, if you're a Twitch partner, you can get animated emotes, and I really want to be partnered just for that reason, so we can have like Bailings rolling into me all the time. No, I don't know how teabags were invented, but since you're gonna tell me, hassle for me you. So please let me know. I'm very interested in learning the history of teabags. And yes, I do need to get a diffuser and whatever, and I need to get an electric kettle because I've been committing the gravest sin up in New Hampshire. Not here, my girlfriend's got an electric kettle, and that I've been microwaving my water to make tea. Or heating it up on the stove in a saucepan. But hey, broke PhD student life. Anyway, Zerglings will find this third base. With the Void Race here, really should not do much. The probe will go down, but that's going to be just about it. Adept as well. Fine, but here we go. The base will not go down, and I'm canning behind this. There we go. Twilight, Robo, all that fun stuff. But he's not getting on into this a glaive tech once again. He only has 2 gateways. Is that okay? The Oracle died. No, the Oracle. Oh, Adepts found their way on into the third base. Okay, 2 more workers do go down. But I like this. Mcanning, he's not trying to greed and be aggressive at the same time. Oh, that's cool. I did not know about that about teabags, but honestly, I'm not surprised. Makes a lot of sense. And really, 25% of the world's freshwater? You know what? I guess with the Arctic. Is that including Arctic ice? Because of course, ice is not salty. It's when it melts that salt water becomes salty. I don't know. But again, that's not all that expected. But look at this. So, Blink is not the first upgrade out of this Twilight. The Oracle does go on down. It's going to be charged out of this. But we do have, okay, this is 6 gas, so we're not going to see some sort of zany double Oracle Temple Archives Charizard Archon all in, or double Void Ray Charizard Archon all in. There's always a chance that happens though, right? That is a build that tore up the ladder for a little bit of time. It hit around 730 with 2 Archons, a whole bunch of Charizards, and 2 Void Rays. And admit the Roaches by themselves were not a really good hold to it, but no, that's not what Mcanning's doing here. +1's on the way. Disruptors are on the way as well, and we all know what Mcanning can do with the Disruptors as well. Hassle for me too. Have I? Please. When I'm up in New Hampshire, not here because I don't have all the ingredients. More importantly, I can't get the good maple syrup. Every Sunday, I just make a lot of pancakes, and I get local maple syrup, and I put it on top of it. Now, one thing I should point out, actually what I've been doing a lot of is, I'm gonna blow your mind a little bit. If you make pancakes that are 50-50 AP flour and cornmeal, and then you put a little vanilla extract in there, and you make them like you would other normal pancakes otherwise, it is so good. And maple syrup on top, and make sure you have high quality butter and all that. It is 10 out of 10, the best pancakes I've ever made. Well, unless it's fall and then it's apple season, and I make like stewed apple pancakes, and those are also fantastic. No, my favorite tea brand is not Lipton. Although I did spend a summer drinking black tea that was off of like knockoff Lipton, because I was working up at camp and that was all they had for us. It was very sad. So I do have a tolerance for bad tea. But also, you talk about pancakes with maple syrup. half of my mom and my brother, they don't like maple syrup. They're like, yeah, no, give me the pancake syrup. And I'm like, excuse me? I was up when I was visiting my PhD up in New Hampshire. I went to a diner that had been there forever. They're like, hey, do you want pancake syrup or maple syrup? And I'm like, I am like 100 feet from Vermont. What do you think I want? Answer's pancakes, by the way. Or answer's actual maple syrup, by the way. As the game does progress here, we should probably talk about the game as it's been 8 minutes of honestly not a lot happening. Both players powering on up. We got +1 air attack underway. Mcanning just getting into his air ability, into his air army, just a little bit slower than he did in that last game. As we have the fleet beacon done now, we have the second Stargate done now. +1 attack underway. Storm is done. We have more disruptors here. This is a much more tenable position for Mcanning to sit into as the game does progress. But here's where we are, right? Hive is done for BioIce. Do we have any Vipers yet? We do not. None on the way either. But a bunch of lurkers as we get on into those lurker upgrades as well. Behind that, of course, there's going to be a Spire here that's going to look to just dominate the air. You build a bunch of corruptors before BioIce or before Mcanning is really able to dominate the air all that much. But for the moment, all Mcanning is doing is says, okay, I got to clear out some creep. I want to make sure that you don't own the map too hard. But also look at this. BioIce understands that these roaches are not going to be all that useful for a while here, but so they're going to try to find their way on in. But Charles going to get on top of that. Disruptor shot is not going to hit whatsoever. But the good news here for Mcanning is he will not lose his Cybercore. He's going to be fine there. There's a bunch of roaches. Lurkers are going to find their way on into the third base. We need to see some storms get dropped, and they are panic storms indeed. And they actually, the disruptor shots, everything stays alive. Mcanning, you're just, okay. You know what? That was masterful. That was insane. That was absolutely insane. He didn't lose. Did he lose a single High Templar? He lost 2 High Templar. That was it. Dear God, Mcanning. That was insane. So now he's on 4 bases. Now all those lurkers have died. And we look at the resources lost. It's a lot to a little. BioIce, he is up 1 base, which is fine. That's as expected. But now we're getting into the carrier attack. Now we're going to get +2 air attack rather shortly. We should see +1 shields as well. And there's a mama ship in this game. Now, I don't know how good this mothership's going to be, right? We see games where motherships are just like incredible. We see Zest mothership in particular as a bunch of Zerglings going to try to find their way on in. Once again, pardon me for not paying attention to the mini maps. So Zerglings, they try to find their way on into the main base. In the natural, they're not getting much done. Main base, well, Zealots warp on in. And we're starting to see some workers go on down. But hey, you know what? You can cloak them out. And that is going to be totally fine here. Now, if they get on top of the Stargates, that's going to be a bit more big of a deal. But there we go. Zealot, everything's going on down. And this should be the end of that run by. Hey, Gypsy in the Night. Welcome, welcome. Now, corruptors are on the way, but we only have carapace here. 8 corruptors on the way. There are already 9, so we're going up to like 20 corruptors. And what are we actually at? Let's take a look. So we have 3 carriers. They will have +2 soon. 2 void rays. Not a lot, actually. That could be a problem. But of course, the deal with carrier storm is not the carriers necessarily, although +2 carriers are a powerful thing indeed. The big deal is the storms with the carriers, because carriers, yeah, they fall down to corruptors rather easily. But if you put them with, with a storm or 2, and suddenly it's carrier or corruptors fighting at 50%, 25% HP before the fight even starts, well, that's a bit of a problem. But now, hey, you know what? You like corruptor snipes in that previous game? Well, it's going to happen again here. So we're going to see the base go down, and we're going to see the fleet beacon die as well. But Mcanning says, look, I got my +2 timing coming up. This means your corruptors, they're not going to do that much else. It's time for me to get aggressive on the map here. I have a terrifying army. I have a bunch of storms. I think that's like 12 storms under the mothership here. And now it's time for Mcanning to do that wonderful thing called 1A. Now, not quite. There is, of course, micro involved in this. But Mcanning has an army that BioIce is really going to struggle to fight against. Yes, there are lurkers, and that's fine. But there's disruptors on the ground, so it's not going to be all that easy for these lurkers to really make much happen. Now, okay, now here are the corruptors. They're going to come to the fight, and the storms are actually going to be rather nice indeed. Archon trying to get underneath will be unsuccessful. Meanwhile, it looks like DTs in the main and natural, knocking down so many workers. And Mcanning, that's all he wanted. His posturing has been successful. He's got his 5th phase underway now. He's killed off ludicrous amounts of economy. Now BioIce below him in terms of workers, and there's not that much of a bank either. Disruptors will continue to zone on out here. Not really getting on top of these lurkers, but still doing enough damage to make things problematic. As now we're going to see storms on top of all of these corruptors as we got a big fight coming on in, but the anti-air is all dying. It's all dead. It doesn't matter anymore. There's actually nothing in this army on the ground that matters anymore, because now there's vision on top of these lurkers. They're all going down, and yeah, there are some hydras here, but these are +2 carriers indeed. And with the Void Rays fighting strong, well, Mcanning, he finds himself on a 50 supply lead. He's got his main base mining once again for all that it matters. And yeah, he loses some disruptors. Yes, he loses that mothership. But the mothership, it paid for itself. It paid for itself damn well in this game. Mcanning with a 30 army supply lead. What is the Beowulf? Well, to make a long story short, hassle for me too. We can talk about this more after this game is over. In my sophomore year, we read Beowulf. And my last name is Mulford. And my teacher says, hey, Beowulf, instead of like he's talking about Beowulf, but instead he says Beowulf. And I'm like, that sounds like a good username. It's a portmanteau of my last name and Beowulf. Wow, Alaros. Should time you out for that, but I can't alt tab out of StarCraft because there's gonna be lag. That's the only thing that's saving you. I will make sure to go look up Harney and Sons. But I need to get a diffuser and all that. As now Mcanning, he's maxed out. BioIce isn't. But here's the thing, right? BioIce, this is his last shot at qualifying. He got to the qualifying match 2 times in a row. Every time he went down 2-0, every time he's taken game number 3, and every time he's put himself in a really, really problematic position in the 4th game. And that looks like that's going to happen here. Once again, the Queens are going to try to make something happen. Corruptors as well, but Storms are a powerful drug, and even with the Queens underneath, it just looks like there's going to be too much DPS. Disruptor upgrades do not matter here, and there we go. Everything's dead. GG, the Can Man. He can indeed. He will qualify here for Dreamhack Masters Fall 3-1.